Alright, let's get this epic stuff going. I really like the soundtrack to this game, where they cremate the roadkill. Unfortunately, the game itself, a lot of weird games have this unfortunate problem where it's like, you can put up with the aesthetic. In fact, the aesthetic's part of what makes it so cool, and like the harsh music and stuff like that. But then the actual, like, there's like technical problems with it. So, with like where they cremate the roadkill, there's like really inconsistent controls, which I think it makes it hard to actually enjoy the game for what it is. Like the cool aesthetic and the really good music. Like I love some of it a lot. Admittedly, this is more of a silly one than like a cool one, but it's pretty good. Let's see. I'm gonna pause that. So, today I have some objectives. So, it's going to be the save system and the inventory. And if I have some time, I also have ideas for a dialogue system and making a shopkeeper and all this sort of stuff, because that'll be a good test of the thing. And this is like a little dialogue language that I sort of just came up with today. Alright, but let's get into it. So, if you're curious where we left off last time, we have our little character who can run around. I'm going to minimize this. Yeah, if I have my preview window open in the other monitor, the game runs at like 30 FPS, just because I think there's driver issues that I mentioned earlier. But, yeah, we have our little character running around. We can dynamically load and unload chunks. They're red for loaded, green for unloaded. This one hasn't been changed yet because it doesn't need to be changed. And then when you run out of it, it eventually will unload all the stuff. And for now, it'll replace it with like a big, huge mesh. Let's see if I can get to green. Yeah, so now, yep. Once it's marked as inactive, it eventually replaces the stuff that's in there with much less detailed stuff, and for now it's just a big huge block to mark that it's actually changed, so that way I can see it. Okay, but that's all fine and dandy. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a save system, because basically I'm making things in the order of like, if the game has to be finished today, right now, what do I need to get done? Or what is the most important stuff? So I have movement, I have the basic world. Now we need the ability to like save and load stuff. So that's what I'm going to be working on. So this is my global node, and currently all this does is it has the code for randomly generating codes, which I think is pretty fun. Oh, hang on, gotta mute for a sec. Okay, so we have this node that's going to be loaded. So it's in our auto load settings. And that way we can access it from the player. So like, is this where the code is? No, I know where the code is. That's not where the code is. This is where the code is. Yeah, so we can access the global from our scripts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new variable called state. So currently there's no that doesn't do anything, because I also need a game state script. So instead of it being a node, it'll be a resource. Class name, game state. And let's see, for now, we just need flags, the player's position. So let's do that. Flags. Actually, I'll name that stats. So that'll just be basically anything, like if you've talked to a certain NPC or if you've entered certain places and all that stuff. And then var inventory. And that'll be collectibles and also weapons, I guess, and ammo and all that stuff. And then for what other things do we need? Player location. And finally, well, no, I guess that's good for now. Okay, so we have our stats in our inventory, and now we need some way of testing it. So let's say our debug will have some extra stuff. Let's move that up, that across. Move this here. And also make it a little bit more. So this will be the our debug menu for game state, and it'll just run in the process loop. This will be some terribly performing code because every frame it'll do it'll delete all its children, and then it'll add new children to show like what stuff you have. C.state viewer.move child C. And I'm writing this little fake function for now to just simplify when we actually have to add these labels. State viewer t %s %d global this will be s, and then we'll make a global stat s. I in global inventory. Will state viewer t s d I global.count I. See, I'm sort of drafting up a bunch of, or writing as if a bunch of functions that don't exist currently. Okay. Func add label. Control text string equals new text equals text. And then I need to also add stat and count. So let's do that now. Index string if index in game state dot stats index else, and it'll just return null if it's not in there. Count item, and count just returns how many of a particular item you have. And if it's not even in the inventory, then it'll just return 0. So I can actually, I'll even make that typed. All right. Oh wait, now I have to actually format this properly. And for now, it should just have those two little things. Yep, just has stats and inventory in the corner. Though I'm gonna push this down a little bit. It's a bit high in there. How am I gonna do this? There we go. Now it's actually not way in the corner there. Okay. So we have no stats, no inventory. Also for stat, I'll return 0 by default, because typically it'll be things like enemies killed, times died, things found, I don't know, like progress. And then let's have this UI should be the full rectangle. Then I also know what I want to have for the save system. So what it's going to be is, it'll be just a little, so this will be like when you save, there'll be a little text box that pops up that says saving, and then a little pop up that says saved, and an animation player. New save start. those. And the modulate. Because eventually this will be used for like colors, and then I'll actually change. That's not it. That's it. So, when you save, or when you start saving, it'll play this little animation that does nothing except for pop up a little bit of text that says saving, and eventually I'll do some styling to make it look good. And then animation, new, save, complete. And for save complete, it adds our modulates. Then let's do 4 seconds, and then once it's marked as saved, it'll fade out. So this will turn, that'll go to 0. And yeah, changing the color modulate is a good way of fading things out. So what that does is not what I was intending. Okay. Now it should do. So yeah, we can see it slowly fades out. And I'll actually add, I'll duplicate the keys. So that way it stays white for a little bit longer before it actually fades out. And you can see it more easily. So it's like 2, 1, and then it pretty quickly, or then it fades out over a couple seconds. And that'll eventually be used. Okay. And there'll just be one save path. So it'll be const save path equals whatever it equals. It'll be user. So in Godot there's a user directory, and this is different depending on each system, so that's convenient. And it'll be save.tres. So because it's so simple right now, like with a lot of things that I've added, I'm just going to do it in the main thread right now. So it'll be save, emit, signal, let's do save start and save complete. So it'll be save start, save complete, emit signal, save start, and then resource saver save game state. And also I need to, I don't know if this is actually necessary, but you can change resource name to the actual name of the class rather than resource, and I think that does something good. I don't actually know, but I think you're supposed to do that. Alright, and then emit signal, save, complete. So right now, this doesn't actually mean much to have these two separate signals because, well, it does it in one frame, so it's always going to do it. And if it takes too long, it'll just freeze the game for a little bit. Oh, hang on. Had to burp. For some reason, I constantly burp when I'm streaming, but only when I'm streaming do I need to burp. I don't get it. But okay, so what do I need to do here? Oh, I know what I need. I need the path. Okay. And we'll also have load. quick load is what I'll call it load sync, and this will be save sync. And this is sort of like a C# thing, or a .NET programming thing, where you functions that are meant to be called from a separate thread, you can call them sync, and then the function that's called from the main thread will be async, because it sends off the stuff and then gets it back asynchronously. Though that's not really how it's used. Saver, no. If loader.exists, save path. Game state equals source load save path, and then false. Actually, I do need resource loader, because by default, something that I found out is hang on. Load type hint string. Optional type hint, further specify the resource type. Yeah, you have to have this no cache be true, because otherwise when you save the game, or when you load the game, it'll cache the first load, like the results of the first load, which is like not what you want, because then every time you load again, it'll only bring you the first load, you know, the first time that you loaded the game, rather than what you just saved, or what was recently saved. So you have, if you want to use resource loader for saving and loading files, you have to use you have to pass this no cache parameter, and then get tree.reload current scene. Okay, and that'll be how it does, and it'll just reload the whole tree. And now I'm going to add some buttons for quick saving and quick loading. If project, that's not what I wanted to do. Project settings, input map, quick save, quick load. What's the standard for these? F5 for quick save and F8 for quick load? Hopefully that's right, because that's what I'm going to do. And if that confuses anyone, they should talk to their doctor about it. I already forgot what I did. Okay. Save sync. If event is, it should be pressed. Quick load. Okay, so currently the state isn't looked at anywhere. So let's do a F5. So it shouldn't do anything right now. And then F8. The game crashed. I think. I don't know. And I'm going to dismiss this. So if you assign something to a variable that has an underscore, then the validator or the parser knows that you're not going to use it, so that way this little warning won't pop up. And if I have it without an underscore, it'll pop up a different warning. So if I do that, Let's do F8. It starts up just fine. I don't know what that is. And you can see our little errors here. So it's now warning that this is used but not declared but not used. And var. I'll do the same thing here, because if it doesn't work, I don't know what to do. So it might as well just crash or do whatever it's going to do. So now the question is, why, when I press F8, does it crash the game? That is a mystery for the ages. I'm gonna else print debug load with no save at save path. Maybe it's running this twice. So like when the scene reloads, it still thinks the action is pressed, or it thinks it's been pressed again. I don't know if that's the case, but we'll try load name equals false. Loading true. And then let's say when the whole world comes in, after everything else, global.loading equals false. That was the wrong thing. Ing. Okay, so F5, quick saved. F8. Alright, and if I forgot to do literally anything with that. Okay. So that crashed the game. What did I just do? I pressed print screen. Maybe it's here. It's not in here. That's alarming. Attempt to connect. Deploy debugging. Okay. Debugger. Errors. F8. Am I doing something? Maybe there's a button. Maybe F8 is already mapped to something and I don't, and it shouldn't be mapped again. I'm gonna remove, well, I guess, okay, so F5, I'm gonna do F8 for quick save and see if that causes a crash, and F5 for quick load, and then let's see what this does. F8, okay, so F8 actually does something. Okay, yeah, it stops the scene, my mistake. Alright, so cancel. You know what? I can just add a pause menu or something. No, but that's too much work. I don't want to add a pause menu today. Okay, let's add those back. I'll just have quick save be Q. It'll be the actual key, so that way there'll be some nice conflict between the physical keys and like the whatever these keys are, and then quick load will be L. Very convenient. it won't be physical. It'll be the logical key. And I'm pretty sure the difference is that, like, if a keyboard has a different layout, this will be still where the L is on their keyboard. Where with the physical keys, it'll just be like the same place as the American layout keyboard. Alright. So, Q. And then L. Alright, that works pretty well. And then, now we need things like, actually, I'm going to remove the loading flag. So, there will be that there. But I will have a var valid game state false. And then that'll only be true if we've successfully loaded, so it'll be here. Otherwise, there's no valid game state. And basically, now we can actually start putting things together. So like, in the function, where's the ready label? Huh, I don't have a ready function for this. Ready. So for the player, if global valid game state, then our global transform will equal the global transform player. That should be named transform. That's a bit confusing. And that should be removed. Okay, so now I'm going to walk all the way to one of these little houses. And we'll press Q to quick save. Currently it doesn't actually show up the nice little UI, so I'll add that right after this. L. I'm in the wrong place. L again. Alright, so I don't know what I did. Oh, I actually do know what I did. It's never set anywhere. So, when the save start is emitted, what I'm going to do is connect global. And this is another thing that has a result that I don't really care about, because if it's not connected, the game's gonna not work. It doesn't matter what I do. Okay, so save start self on save start. And this way I can quickly just save my inventory and like position and things. So let's do on save start global game state player transform equals global transform. And that way our handy dandy little thing, let's press Q, then we'll walk away, press L. I'm not in the right place. Am I not emitting the signal at the right time? Emit signal. I actually have a better idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a group thing. So instead of there being a signal, it'll call a method. Well, yeah, I can do the same thing with groups and methods. So it'll be get tree dot call group save pre-save object. Pre-save. Actually, it'll be prepare save, so it's a verb. So I don't know. I think signals might react at different times, so I'm just going to call it all. I'm just going to explicitly call a method for every group. So this will be in a new group called pre-save object. And just to make sure it's working, print player is saving. And also, even more, UI, save stats, animation player play, save start, and then from save. Save complete. And I'll add that now. So tree call group post save object complete save. Not great names for those, but I mean, this is going to be done in a month, so I shouldn't have to worry about great names for too long. So yeah, basically, when you call the save function, first it'll call prepare save on any object that wants to record something right before the game saves, and then the game is saved, and then it calls post save object, or it calls complete save on anything that wants to do something after the game saved. So Q. Alright, so it has our little saved. I don't know why. I mean, I guess that's good. So it just pops up a little tiny saved in the corner there. So I need to be here. L. It's not there. So what's going wrong? Attempt to connect node. Attempt to connect non-existent signal. Okay, so that can go. But it is saving. It is calling the thing. So that should... Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna... Oh, I do know what's happening. To actually save the fields of a resource, they need to be export variables. Otherwise, they're just reset to the default values. So that way your resources can have like private things that aren't stored to the file, like your social security number. You could put your social security number in your game and it'll be perfectly secure. That's a promise. That's legally, you can hold me legally liable for that. Actually, you can't. Like, that's okay. Okay, that's good. It's actually really good. Alright, so now we have our fantastic little system where I can save at any point and I can just immediately load back. I did not load back to the right place. Because this... Wait, hang on. So if I press L, I go to there. And then, if I press Q, it should save, and then it goes back to there. Why is that? Maybe I need to do state.u. But this load function should take our new little, it takes the, what am I doing? This is the wrong thing. It should be resource loader.load. So yeah, if no cache is true, the resource cache will be bypassed and the resource will be loaded anew. So that's what we should be expecting. So anytime we save, it should overwrite. So when we save, it overwrites the old version in the file system, but the cache still has the old version. So it looks like we're still loading from the cache. Equals game state, not equal to null. So I can load to there, and if I save and I load, wrong thing is happening. That is not comforting. Alright, so now I'm going to need to open up, and you'll find out where the user file is stored. So it's appdata / Godot. Well, that was fun. Appdata / Godot / app user data / Jak 4. Then we have our little autosave. Wait, you can just take screenshots in the editor? What is that? What was that? Where was that? Oh. Oh well. Okay, so our transform has 685, 141, 692. Oh yeah, and eventually I'll need to make it so that it automatically loads the game when you start up. That'll be good. So, Q. Let's see what's changed. I'm now, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong transform. I don't know what that is. L. Okay, so I pressed Q, and I could warp to the wrong place. Now let's see what this does. Okay, this is pretty cool. I've somehow made it so that, okay, so this did not do anything, apparently, somehow. Let's load. Okay, we're here. I'm gonna save right on top of this little hill. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do all that inventory stuff and that little shopkeeper stuff today. If this is how it's gonna go. L. I'm not on the little hill. Let's check. I'm now going insane. I'm officially going insane. Let's do true. Why not? Whatever. Oh, I see. I was reloading the scene after assigning things, and I actually don't even know if it does anything. Okay, Q. Okay, the transform is now no longer being saved. That's awesome. That's cool. I appreciate that. What have I done? What did I do? Game state. Player transform is a transform. I'm gonna assert that the thing that I just assigned is equal to the thing that it was assigned to be. Because I've somehow, I might just have to review the footage to see what, like, one line I changed. So Q to save, and then it's not there. It's not in our funny little file. Like, this should stay up to date. It's not staying up to date. So saving. Did I just add it to the wrong group or something? Maybe I added it to the wrong group. No, it's there. And then it just doesn't save. It doesn't save the thing. It doesn't save the thing. This is serious business. Save sync. It should save our game state to our game path. So it's print game state player transform. That's the wrong thing. That's incorrect. Wrong. Wait, what? Oh, call group is deferred or something? Method. Due to design, fail silently. Note, call group will always call methods with a 1 frame delay. Okay. To call methods immediately, use call group flags. Okay. And then I don't know where to put the flags. Scene tree dot group call real time. Okay. That was fun. Experimented with my new little fun little thing. That was incorrect. And it seems that I was actually wrong about how signals worked. It seems like it's actually the exact opposite of what I did. Okay. So now we're saving stuff to the proper place. Now the moment of truth. Let's see if I can save here. And then load there. Now I do. I don't know why that behaves differently, actually. I was just kind of poking blindly. I don't know why changing from signals to groups apparently did that. I might have done something else. I've actually found that I can understand the bugs a lot better when I go back to actually, like, review this footage for uploading. Like, I review the entire VOD. Well, honestly, not the entire VOD. I just skimmed through it. Especially, like, parts where I was really struggling with bugs. So there's probably something where I, like, accidentally changed something or did something like that. Like, oh well, whatever. So now we have our save system and our load system. Only 53 minutes to do that. That's not terrible. a delightful little quick load, quick save system, which will be completely removed in the final game because you'll have checkpoints. It'll be a checkpoint-based system. And actually in the final game, it'll be I'm thinking in the final game, it'll be like a location-based thing. So in the original Jak and Daxter, when you died, you went back to a checkpoint, but you actually saved all of your progress otherwise. And I think for an open-world platformer, that'd be good enough, or that'd be a pretty reasonable thing, because it's not fun to have to do like all the same stuff again and lose all this loot that you got, especially if it's randomly generated. But setting you back a good ways, you have to repeat like the meat of the challenge to make sure you actually did it well, without repeating the boring stuff like finding your items and buying stuff and killing bosses and whatever. Okay, yeah, that's good. Let's get our GitHub. Excuse me. And I will add. Now we need a new wonderful thing. We need items. New script. No, let's create. What should it be? It'll be an area. Item pickup. And it'll have a script. I don't know what I did. Okay. Item pickup. Create extends. Change type. Area. And light. And this will be. So yeah, there'll be a little light just to make it glow. It'll be super small, pretty small. And it won't be that bright. And then there'll be a collision shape. And so yeah, all the items will have the exact same size of collider, so that way I don't have to deal with it in an intelligent way. And it'll still feel somewhat consistent. And then this will have export string var item ID port int for the whatchabob, the quantity. And that'll be 1 by default, and export packed scene for preview mesh or preview or whatever. Okay. And we don't actually need that for things. So, item. New inherited scene. This will be egg. Mesh instance. For now, it'll have a little capsule mesh. 12 by 6. It'll be 0.1 by 0.2. And it'll have an animation player. Be Bob. And so the transform. I don't need that. That was the wrong thing. Key it, and then duplicate keys, and loop it, and cubic it. Let's move that to 3 seconds. And I'll just move it perfectly to the center. Wonderful. So that'll be our default egg pickup. And this little preview thing will be for items that are like one-off items, so I don't have to create this whole scene with this stuff. I can just like chuck the mesh into there, and then it'll be like, that'll be the preview for it. And then what else do I need? Func on body connect on body turd. There we go. Self. And this will have a collision mask only for the player. So that's what that mask means. On body entered B free global dot get item add item ID, and then I'll add that nice little thing to the global. So okay, saving and loading, adding little sections here. Count stat. See, code generation. Very valuable stuff. Code generation right after the game state management. Add item string if item in game state dot inventory item plus equals 1 else equals 1. So that way, if we have that item in the inventory, we just add 1 to it. Otherwise, we set it to 1. And this way, we have our high quality, we have our wonderful little eggs. We can collect our eggs. I'm going to put some up here. And they're arbitrarily high. I was hoping Godot's placement of like objects seems to be basically random. I don't understand. My brain is not big enough to understand like why it does what it does, but it does what it does. And we love it for that. It does what it does. And I may, well, eventually I'll also add a system for sending signals to the player when the actual when the inventory is updated. But whatever. For now, how do I get up here? I hold shift and I crawl. So yeah, very Breath of the Wild, we can just crawl up. That We could add a stamina. Actually, that'd actually be kind of funny to have a stamina system on crawling up steep slopes. Like it feels like something that is like an exploit, but then I explicitly account for it and have a whole mechan. That'd actually be really fun. I'm gonna think on that. Oh, 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 and I fell all the way down. Okay. I also need to fix that minor thing where the player is like flips backwards when they hit the slope, because that's ugly looking. But okay. I did not get the egg. I have failed to get the egg. This is terrible. I'm on layer 2. Item pickups. Their collisions are not on mask 2. What? Okay. Let's go back. This failed. This was a fail. Okay. I pressed L instead of Q. I'm an idiot. Okay. Because I could have just quick saved and then restarted the game and then quick loaded. But, oh well. Too late for that. I'll show you how to do this again. But yeah, now I'm thinking about it. That actually would be hilarious to just let the player crawl up things, but to have it be on a stamina system. That's really good, actually. I'm a genius. I'm a game design genius. And then there could be like, and then there's like a whole extra layer of potential upgrades, because I don't want the player to like, you know, upgrade things like their jump height, because that'd be a bit too crazy. What is happening here? What's this? Oh. Okay. Q. I did not press the right signal. L. Okay. Oh, right. Oh, wait, no. It should load and unload things fine. Okay, so now we have our little eggs, and we can see in the top left corner we have 5 eggs. High quality gaming content, high quality video games. Okay, so do I want to go the extra mile and implement a little shopkeeper? I think I could do it. I think I could do it. But I'll take a break for like 5 minutes. Because I need to use the little boy's room. Back soon. Alright, I'm back. So, I've realized there are a few things I still need to do. One, I still need to save the player's randomly generated coats. Because the funny little coats are gonna be, I think, a major gameplay element. Because they're essentially, unless I decide to go with unless I decide to go with things like, upgrading stamina to crawl up slopes longer, this is going to be the only thing that you can actually spend money on. That's like a permanent upgrade thing, rather than just a strictly progression thing. So I need dialogue, items. I'll set the player's coat. Source. Maybe coat info? Whatever. It's all info. Everything's info. Okay. Class, name, coat. Enum rarity. It'll be common. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rarities. So common, maybe basic, common, rare, super rare, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sublime. You can have a sublime coat. And then I'm going to use the Borderlands colors for the... Wait, I have 6 of these. Why did I do that? How did I do that? Common, uncommon, rare, super rare, sublime. And then export int rarity equals rarity.common. Export texture palette. Export gradient. Mom. Okay. And so instead of generating a material from the coat, we get a coat. And then the coat itself will have the code to get a material. Generate material. Material. We'll also have... Where's the constant for... What am I doing? This is the wrong place. Close other tabs, except for the global. We only need to worry about coat and global. Now that can all work. So coat equals coat.new. Don't need this. But I will do mat equals shader material.new. Mat.shader is our material coat shader. Eventually we'll return the mat. And this can handle storing the materials and like generating the gradients and stuff. Hang on, this music's kinda hurting my head. A little bit too funky for me. Okay, so we have our coat. Coat.rarity equals coat.rarity.sublime. Rarity equals coat.rarity.super rare. Uncommon rare. Then rarity dot uncommon, otherwise Rarity.uncommon. Code gradients. Code gradient add points. Right. Okay, so that will eventually go to the other thing. And this code.palette. Is that? Then all of this. Then GT equals gradient new, GT.gradient equals gradient, that. And we will have a system for setting the player's coat. So we need to go here again. And I don't think we need this code anymore, so I'm gonna move that, delete this file. I did, oh, that's not going to have that anymore. Instead, it'll be in, it should be in the animator, or the player. I guess it'll be in the animator. Func show coat, and then that equals code dot generate material. Then our coat dot material override equals that. And our player will have a current coat. So let's see. Current coat equals debug dot or global get coat with a random integer. Mesh show coat. And currently we won't save multiple coats, we'll just save the player's current coat, so coat equals current coat. High quality content, and that'll be export. Resource bar current coat. Let's see how that works. It did not. I'll just trust that I won't accidentally save like a texture to the coat, so. Let's find a nice coat. That's nice. Now, save. Then let's keep generating coats until I get to a bad one that's so bad that I delete the whole game. Terrible, awful. Let's press L. I did not... Oh, right. Of course. I need to set the player's coat again. So that is in the ready function. If we have some valid state, coat equals global.gameState current coat mesh show coat current coat, and let's load the game. Nice. So now we can save our coats and have lovely little terrible little procedurally generated messes. I may even make some... I need to like randomize. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm also gonna oh yeah, I need to make it so that you actually like... And why is this not at the top of the thing? Okay, so now let's load again. I mean, here, lovely little coats. Now that's a mess. That's beautiful. We need to save that. Just a mess. Just a beautiful mess. Oh my god. I've outdone myself. Okay. We need double save for that one. What is this? What is this awful thing? I like it because the shader makes it so that the mip mapping doesn't work, so that there's just this crazy like stippling. It hurts to look at. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. And see, that's what you really want from like these rare coats, because the common coats, they only have 2 colors, and that you might imagine that could result in like aesthetically pleasing things. But we need things that are like the most gaudy, over the top messes. See, like that's terrible. I need to load the game. Reload. Oh, interesting. So I think the random seed... Well, I don't know. Okay. That one's pretty good. Let's see. I need just like a little area where you can just view coats. For the next thing, there'll be a shop, and you can get like lots and lots of coats. Or enemies. I've also been thinking maybe enemies will have these textures on them, and then if you kill the enemy, you get a coat of their skin. You know, so she's some sort of like demented safari hunter. Ooh, that's a good one. That's actually really nice. Okay, so I've now have an inventory system that saves coats. Item system with coats. I'll have to make it so... Oh, that's another thing I can do. I can make coat pickups. So maybe the player gets the random coat from a thing. Let's see. So yeah, now I need to add a thing where you can actually save all of your coats. Export array resource for all coats array, and then eventually I'll need some way of cycling them. This will be big. For now, what I'm going to do is when you debug randomize the coats, you'll get a new coat. And then it'll also be global.add coat Wait. When you get a coat, it should be added to the coats that you already have. Because there's no way that you're going to call get... Well, no, actually you could generate a coat. Func add coat. Coat. Game state all coats. Append coat. So global add coat current coat. So yeah, when you randomize the coats, you actually get them added to your little thing. And then maybe there's and then I'm gonna add a coat pickup item. So it'll be like this. It'll be a duplicate of it. And it'll be slightly different. Because one, the Omnilight will be different. So it'll be, let's see, the random seed var seed, and if it's -1, it'll regenerate. On body enter coat. And we have mesh instance, and we need the player. I'm going to go here, go to the coat, copy that, and hopefully this will update when it wants to. I don't know what I meant by that. I have no idea what I meant by that. Okay. So we have our coat. Animation player. New. Spin. 3 seconds. Loop, then auto start. Oh wait, for the item pickup, did I remember to make that an auto start? I don't think I did. Make pickup. Yeah, that needs to float. No, not that one. This one. Okay, and this is coat pickup. The coat pickup script. Body entered. Coat. Ready. Coat equals. No. Coat equals global dot get coat. Random seed. If random seed is less than 0 equals I just realized that the seed that I give to the thing is, oh well. I have no idea what that's going to be. Okay, so if it's less than 0, it's random. And then we get it, and then when the player gets it, whatever happens. So add coat, B, player body. No, I think if B is player body, B set current coat. Now I need a new method. I'm gonna make the set state always be the last method because that's important to me. Because that way I can quickly scroll down and see that, because set state's pretty important. So function set current coat. Now I can change this to So yeah, there will be a coat also up on that little hill for now. Actually, I know. It needs to be... Oh wait, these item pickups should not be in this chunk. They should be in the... Ah well, for now they'll be in there. Eventually these should be moved to the chunk itself, so that way they can actually unload, because that's sort of the entire point of having the chunk system. But oh well. Areas. Chunks 55. So now I can also start adding nice little things into all these houses. So I'll add some eggs. We need a coat pickup. So that'll be there. And then in this one, I'll add some eggs. So you're basically just robbing people's homes of their valuables. Alright. Let's see how this looks. And this coat will be Oh, okay, so another thing I have to do. So this will actually significantly blow up the size of the save system. I also need to make sure that items that are picked up aren't respawning, because the eggs are not persistent. Like, they're not meant to be persistent. But okay, for now they will be. I mean, I have only been working for an hour and a half. And coat. Wonderful. I also need to make it so that it previews the coat on the pickup. Mesh instance dot material override equals material. This is fun. Now it's like a whole video game now. You just wander around, you collect, you crouch jump into people's houses. Look at that. I got some eggs. Then we go into this house and we get a whole dang, look at that. That's like an uncommon, what is that? How many colors is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4 colors. That's a rare. That's a rare. That's a find. And now I'm going to show exactly the problem that we're going to need to solve now, which will slightly blow up the whole saving and loading system. And it'll make it so that it's probably going to be more and more necessary to save things. whatever I just said. I forgot. I don't even know what I said. Yeah, but to prevent items from respawning, it's actually going to be kind of complicated. Because I'll need to keep track of every single item that has ever been picked up that needs to be persistent. And so, what we need is export bool var persistent equals false. No, equals true. By default, it'll be true. So that means that, let's see, item pickup persistent equals true on body entered. Global dot mark picked name, no, get path, and then if global dot picked persistent and global dot picked queue free get parent dot move child self picked path. Okay, so this is going to be an export array of node path var picked items array. We have our lovely little coats. Eventually I'll need to rename this to generate coats, so function pick item, or I guess mark picked path game state dot get picked items append path is picked path bool return picked items in. So yeah, eventually this will actually be a pretty hefty thing, because if you have like thousands of persistent items, see, and this will be if persistent. And the reason I'm adding this optional, the reason I'm making it optional is because there are also items where I'll want it, where it won't matter if there is an item like that. Like if you kill an enemy and it spawns some item that you can pick up like over and over, it's not persistent. It's DiGiorno. Let's see. There's the code pickup. And it'll return. Yeah, and it'll do the same thing here, actually. Key free return. And if persistent global mark picked get path. Is picked. If it is picked, let's see what that looks like. I will press L to load. I don't know when I load. Oh yeah, I did load here. Okay. So let's get this new coat. I liked the old one better. More responsible color scheme, I think. Get these little guys, these little eggs. Also, let's get a quick save, and then let's get the little eggs up here. Actually, first things first. Let's unload the level and then reload it and then see where we're at. So there should be no coat in here. Good. There's no coat, and there's gonna be no eggs. Great. Awesome. Let's save again. And yeah, having the pick be the full path isn't very efficient. I could split it by chunk or something, and then like have some sort of tree for it instead, so that way. But whatever. It's good enough. I'm not gonna have a whole bunch of data anyway, so okay, let's save. And then let's load. Oh yeah. Okay, I was confused because the materials are still set to like red and green and stuff. Okay. No eggs up here. No eggs down here. No coat. Alright, I was worried that was going to be... I don't know why I thought that'd be such a tricky thing to solve. That turned out to be pretty easy. Okay. Wait, how many eggs did I have? I better double check. Yep, 8 eggs. Alright, so that's working. Pick coats. Save multiple. And track picked items. And I should push this as well. Alright, that's pretty epic. I'm gonna solve these bugs though. I assume it's because it's calling the ready function, it doesn't actually have it as a child and it's like some automatic thing. Okay, and this... Let's load my high quality coat. Eventually I'll need the ability to like cycle between the coats that we have. Yeah, whatever. Let's double check to make sure that it's in here. All right, we have our picked items. We have our gradients. I should have multiple coats, shouldn't I? All coats, sub-resource 2. I'll add some coats. So just randomize a couple times. All right, and then I'll save again, and let's see what that looks like. It didn't do anything. All coats. Maybe I'm not adding it properly. Game state, all coats, append, coat. And it's exported. Good thing I looked at this. what is happening when we add coat? So it calls coat, and it sets the current coat. Add coat just calls append, which works for this. Player has %d coats. Alright, so if I press F1 a bunch, add coat was not called. Oh, okay. I'm not adding the coats when I randomize them. Okay, that makes sense now. But then where? Okay, so there are two gradients for the current coat and the last coat. Alright. For coat equals, I should change that to generate coat, coat, global.add coat, coat. Let's load, then I'll do F1. Ooh, that's a nice one. It's like, I don't know, watermelon or something. And someday I may even make the UVs, or tweak them slightly so it's actually possible to get symmetrical coats. Because currently, it's literally like the default UV mapping that was like when I unwrapped it in Blender. So that's why even though it's mostly symmetrical, this left collar is a different color than the right. Okay. Now we got some data. So yeah, if you get a bunch of coats, you're going to have a bunch of stuff saved. So eventually it'll become more and more important to actually have it saved and loaded in a separate thread, because it'll take like it'll take a noticeable amount of time to save. But for now, we got ourselves a little system. And eventually I'll need to add the whatever, because there's going to be 3 tiered currencies. There's going to be things you get from killing enemies, which will be infinite, and you can buy things with them, like consumable items and upgrades and things. And then there'll be, and also coats with them. And then there'll be eggs, which are the collectibles that you get from walking around and exploring, and you can also buy them for a lot of the lower currency. And then there's the highest tier currency, which I think is going to be capacitors, and then it'll be used to like power machines. So it'll be similar to the power cores in Jak and Daxter. And that way, even if the player doesn't have anything more to do, they can keep getting these randomly generated coats by just killing enemies and exchanging them for money. Like maybe the enemies can only generate common coats, or like lower rarity coats, and then the higher rarity coats you get from the shops, or maybe you get them from the shops with just slightly better distributions. I don't know. The system's still working. Basically, I just want it to be that once you're done with the game, there's still some reason to just play over and over again. And it's to get coats. That's what the game is about. It's about coats. But it's been about 2 hours, and I've made, I think, a pretty sizable amount of progress in that time. Made a whole save system, whole inventory system. I mean, no UI and no, like, didn't get the item shop or the shop owner or the dialogue system done, but whatever. Bug fixes. And push that to GitHub. You can still download it at github.com/needleful/jack4. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for today, and I'll play us off with whichever song it is. I don't actually know which of the songs is my favorite. Um, I don't know. I'm not gonna play us out. I'm gonna end the recording now. See ya.